Gilgeous-Alexander out there with Paul, and it's Robertson in at the 3 slot.
Well, last season, maybe not a lot talked about with regards to how it is that the Oklahoma City team played defensively. Now, that's coming on the foundation of Paul George on the perimeter, so somebody's going to have to step up in that void. But it was a strength of their team, and we'll see if these other players in these roles can make sure they consistently stay good on that end of the floor.
And there's the foul. It's on Jalen Brunson. That is his first foul of the game.
Yeah, that's a tough call right there, and really a tough break for the D.
Here's Adams. There's the dish to Robertson. Paul looking around, and the foul called on Porzingis. That is his first foul of the game.
Kind of a ticky-tack foul there, but you have to be aware that's how the refs are going to blow the whistle tonight.
Here's Adams. Robertson with it. Just 5 to shoot. Oklahoma City needs to get off a shot. Adams' shot is good. And Brent, going back to the defense, as the Thunder have lost some of their top scorers, guarding, defending has become a major emphasis.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting time in Oklahoma City for a lot of teaching to get done with these players who are going to have an opportunity to play minutes they have not played before. They look for length and athleticism and hopefully find some guys that have a defensive upside.
So it's the Thunder now. The Mavericks making the shot. Robertson kicks to Gallinari. The pass to Gilgeous-Alexander. Offensive rebound. Count the basket. Adams has got his second basket of the night.
Adams just continuing to grind it out, outstanding, staying after that possession, and then he grabs a second chance deuce.
Now here's Doncic. Here's Brunson. Yep, it counts. Just over a minute and a half played here in this one. Paul, right side, hands the 12-footer.
Just sticking with the play. Chris Paul there, determined to make something happen. Maintains his focus all the way through that one.
And so it's Doncic with it. He brings it up for the Dallas Mavericks. Passes it to Porzingis. Doncic outside. Shot clock at 6. Over Gallinari. Doncic, no good.
Well, they shouldn't be giving that shot to anyone, but they certainly shouldn't be giving it to him. That's a big break for the defense. Shooting 4 or 5 to start the game. That's got to be a feel-good.
Well, we're now on the back end of what has been, Greg, an incredible career for Chris Paul. It's no longer the undisputed best point guard in the game, but still a top talent.
And Chris Paul might not be the best point guard, but any team would be happy to have him. His efficiency and playmaking aren't going away anytime soon. And even though he's never been an overly athletic player, that aspect of his game still is strong as ever.
This is as good as it gets for a first quarter in terms of shooting the basketball.
They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
Lays it up off the glass. Paul's got 7 points.
Well, great instincts of Paul there, solid at creating havoc in the open court and then coming up with the steal.
And Dallas calls their first time out of the game.
Tough last year for Robertson with the knee injury and missing a lot of the season, as he's a defensive staple for this team.
And a new group in here for the Thunder. Noel's checked in for Adams. Mike Muscala comes in for Andre Robertson. Ferguson's checked in for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And Dennis Schroeder subbed in for Paul. And a new group getting ready for Dallas. Dwight Powell's checked in for Porzingis. Maxi Kleber comes in for Dorian Finney-Smith. Whitey's checked in for Tim Hardaway Jr. And Barea subbed in for Jalen Brunson. Now here's Wright, guarded closer. Back to Barea. Clock at 6. Pass to Doncic. with some arc. Noel with the block.
Noel in there to intimidate and does so there.
The Thunder leading by 7. Schroeder passes to Noel. Gallinari surveying the D. Back to Noel. 6 to shoot. Launches it. And it's Gallinari missing. Mavericks trailed by 7. And here is Wright. Played in with a nice touch off the glass.
Just a late reaction there from the defense, and he is always going to finish that one.
Schroeder against Doncic. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul. Well, when Danilo Gallinari came into the NBA, Brent, he was just a catch-and-shoot type player. But he's so much more than that now.
Well, I think with the way the league has changed with the three-point shot, Gallinari's ability to do that, he's gotten a lot smarter about picking his spots when the pump fake can drive in and draw some contact.
The first one falls.
His versatility, at least for Gallinari, is something that's so important for coaches to utilize. He's capable of stretching the floor the way he shoots it.
And that's good as he hits both of his shots.
You can tell he's feeling confident right now at the line, and when he's on, he can be lights out.
Barea finds Doncic. Schroeder against Barea. Good. And the assist goes to Doncic.
And how about the vision there from Doncic? Can make the easy pass and also the difficult.
About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Pass to Gallinari. Back to Schroeder. Shoots over Barea. Got a piece of it. And here we go. Fast break. Barea's got it. Some solid defense from Gallinari.
And even though he didn't get a piece of that shot, you love the pressure he puts on the shooter.
Yeah, that's the kind of energy that you want to see on every possession throughout the game.
And so it's the Oklahoma City Thunder bringing the quarter to a close with a 7-point lead. They're pounding the ball inside, and that's where they've gotten their best production tonight. Back to the action. Chris Paul, an elite defensive player, a student of the game for sure, talks about his knack for making a lot of steals, forcing turnovers.
The steals thing is just something that I've always had a knack for doing.
You hear about the importance of watching film, Greg. It reveals itself in many ways.
And learning guys' habits. What they like to do gives him a knack for when to go after steals without hurting his team.
And if you're just joining us, we've played through 1 quarter in this one. What do you guys think about the Thunder here in this one?
Well, they've been aggressive from the beginning, particularly on the offensive end.
Well, if they wanted to start well, this would be it. They seized momentum right away, and they just didn't let it go in that quarter.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade as the second quarter gets going. On the floor for Dallas, they've got Seth Curry. Also, DeLon Wright is out there. Luka Doncic's out there with Dwight Powell. And it's Kleba in at the 4-man position. That free throw missing. Brent, offensive versatility, all the rage now. Which guards do you think do the best job of generating offense with their back to the basket?
I don't know so much as these guys are playing with their back to the basket, Kevin, so much as they're finding ways to get the ball without a dribble at about 15 feet away from the basket. So one dribble, they're at the rim.
Right.
They're very effective at the mid-range. Chris Paul and DeMar DeRozan have had tremendous efficiency from those areas on the floor. So those are the kind of players that put some pressure on your defense because they're starting their offense so close to the basket, and they're effective with which they do it. Not on the post, not on the perimeter, and they're finding ways to be impactful.
Schroeder outside. He lobs up the alley-oop pass. Doncic with the steal. Here's Wright. Second chance shot. And the call on the shot that sends him to the line.
And really the defense fouling there to prevent the layup, but that's exactly what you need to do.
Dallas shooting their first free throws tonight. The first trip to the stripe in this one. First free throw is good, and a new group getting ready for Oklahoma City. Steven Adams, he's checked in for Nerlens Noel. Andre Robertson comes in for Gallinari. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's checked in for Terrence Ferguson, and Chris Paul's subbed in for Dennis Schroeder. Then for the Mavericks, Porzingis, he's checked in for Powell. Dorian Finney-Smith comes in for Luka Doncic. Hardaway is subbed in for Wright, so he gets them both. We play just over a minute of basketball here in the second quarter. To the middle, here's Paul, and a great assist by Gilgeous-Alexander as that one goes in. 9 points for Chris Paul.
And for an undersized player, Chris Paul's a pretty good finisher around the rim. Certainly knows all the angles.
Now here's Curry. He's been quiet so far. Still no points in the game. 6 on the shot clock. Dallas needs to get off a shot. Hardaway for 3. Dallas again missing. And Gilgeous-Alexander's got the ball here for Oklahoma City.
Well, that's a guy out there in Steven Adams that you just have to pay attention to. Every night he's going to bang around the opposing big guys and be a threat around the rim to score and pick up offensive rebounds.
Here's Curry. Score the basket. Nice shot after missing his first attempt.
And that's an example of playing big, adapting to the situation.
Tip of the cap there. I mean, that defense was good. The finish was better.
The 11-footer again, Oklahoma City. And with Adams on the offensive glass, he is impossible to move.
Well, that's a big reason why a couple years ago, Kevin, he grabbed more offensive rebounds than defensive rebounds. So you know he's going to live in the paint.
And foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line.
It feels like he can take on anyone on the inside. Hardaway Jr. loved the aggressive attitude there.
And really for a good portion last season, Tim Hardaway acted as the main source of points for the Knicks. Ends up more of a volume scorer, a role that he's going to have to develop.
First free throw is good. And for Hardaway, he was putting up points last season, but the percentages, Greg, were down across the board.
And I think what we found out about him is that he's probably not best suited to be your primary scorer. Very capable of getting buckets, but you don't want him putting up more than 15, 18 shots a game for you.
Hardaway hits them both.
Yeah, in this quarter, they've had the right approach, driving and drawing, initiating contact, create opportunities, get to the line.
Gilgeous-Alexander surveying the D. Here's Adams. It's stolen. Here's Brunson. And he takes that one up and powers it through.
Well, if you don't take care of the ball, fellas, that's what can happen.
Absolutely, Greg. That makes the turnover even more painful.
And the gamble paying off.
They get a hand on it. Fast break, Dallas for the finish. Rips down the breakaway slam.
Long arms and some quick hands that time. Some good awareness as Porzingis just kept moving.
And first timer of the game called for Oklahoma City.
Well, so much of the last few seasons have been lost time for Kristaps Porzingis. That ACL injury and then working back from it in the 2019 campaign. Never an easy road to start it.
J.J. Barea checked in for Dallas. And in the second quarter, a little under 3.5 minutes played already.
Remember when big men shooting threes were as rare as Sasquatch, and now those big guys are everywhere.
Greg, with all the time that Porzingis has missed, it's easy to forget just how dominant he is when he's healthy.
KP
JP is one of the few game-changing talents in our league. He can carry an offense and boost an entire team's defense with his presence on the floor.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
And he makes the first. And Greg, as many expected, Porzingis getting a huge deal from Dallas to keep him a Mav for a long time.
Mavs feel he can be better than he was before the injury. Love the idea of pairing him long-term with Doncic. Signed him to a lengthy and sizable deal to be the core of their future.
He hits both from the stripe.
Well, a big fellow with the ability and confidence at the free throw line is something that every team wants. You don't have to make those late substitutions. Keep your big guys on the floor.
Paul against Porzingis. Bounce pass from Paul. Noel. Porzingis with the block.
Great anticipation there. Porzingis in the right spot and throws that one away.
And battling hard on the glass, they hold the advantage here so far.
Barea kicks to Doncic. Now the pass to Brunson. The wide open look here for Porzingis. Here's Powell. Nice work on the boards, paying off with the basket. Powell's got his second basket of the night.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
A drive by Paul. It's good. And the Thunder lead by 7.
Hard to throw Chris Paul off kilter there. Great at completing those tough baskets.
Oh, and here comes Gilgeous-Alexander all alone. A huge slam, the perfect end of the fast break.
And he can do a lot more damage to the rim than that when he wants to.
Oh, you're right. And with the lead they're enjoying, I'm surprised he didn't put a little something extra on that one. Passes it to Porzingis. Over Adams. And it's Noel with the rebound. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander. Oh, my, what a slam right at the buzzer.
Solid finish to the quarter, making sure that one went in.
And so it's Oklahoma City. Their lead at 11 points to end the quarter. Their lead is where it is because they've gotten good shots. A lot of good shots. We'll return shortly.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Being put on here for the home fans tonight. I'm Ernie Johnson, along with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny. Oklahoma City has the edge here at halftime. They lead by 11. And big fella, let's get your thoughts on the Thunder.
In simple truth, they just got hot. Didn't matter.
And it's just about time now for the third quarter to get underway.
With the second half upon us, we'll find out if this game becomes the route that it's threatening to be. It's been a clinic by Chris Paul.
And guys, we saw just how tough he can be with the step to the rim. Great job of just attacking that first half.
Yeah, nice job of carving his way to the inside with some ease. Not much resistance out there.
Robertson and Gallinari at the small and power forward position. Chris Paul is out there with Gilgeous-Alexander, and it's Adams in at the center position. That's the lineup in the game for Oklahoma City. Outside, Porzingis from outside the arc. It's rebounded by Oklahoma City.
A slight rebound advantage for them. One more column in their favor, and it's all adding up.
Paul passes to Robertson. From deep, Gallinari. And again, Oklahoma City with the triple. Now the shot clock resets to 14 seconds on an offensive rebound. Brent, you like that change?
I think digging into the numbers a little bit, Kevin, it only affects about 3% of total possessions.
Is that all?
Yeah, throughout the course of the year, not in any given game. So it's very, very,
no kidding,
very, very minimal what happens. But what I like is that players have to reset quickly with 14 on the clock, and I think coaches are starting to think about how it is they might have quick sets as opposed to getting the ball to the top of the key and trying to run through a traditional set. Maybe you have quick sets after the reset to get yourself a better shot.
Or strategy. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander. That one is good. He's only missed one shot of his 6 taken on the floor.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, a cold stretch offensively for sure.
Hardaway, that's a 2-pointer. And nothing is falling for him right now.
And they start the second half with 3 straight misses.
Here's Gallinari, and Gallinari throws it down.
Offensively, defensively, they are in total control.
Yeah, the other team a bit concerned here. They're trailing, and the lead seems to be growing.
And the Mavericks call time here.
And coach can't be happy, and I think I know why. Their defense putting up no resistance inside.
No, they're not preventing them from scoring, and if you can get to a high-efficiency shot on the floor, and that's the paint, you just keep going.
Catching up on the changes for Oklahoma City. Mike Muscala is checked in for Robertson. Terrence Ferguson comes in for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And Dennis Schroeder subbed in for Chris Paul. And Adams sends it back.
Well, he can be intimidating. Steven Adams, such a big frame down there, and great timing on that block.
That's to Schroeder. He kicks to Muscala. Pass to Ferguson. Oklahoma City moving the ball around. Shot clock at 5. Back to Muscala. Here's the pass to Gallinari. Off target with his 3. Mavericks trailed by 20. Charity stripe shot. Count it. Doncic has got his first points of the game.
And he's capable of scoring from anywhere, really. Doncic has a strong grasp here of the mid-range.
Schroeder against Wright. The drive by Schroeder. Banked in off the glass. And the Thunder lead by 20.
And not hard to see why they are giving up points on this run. Just too many good looks from in close.
And you watch Dennis Schroeder, you can see how deadly Brent he can be when he's locked in.
Well, he accepted the role in Oklahoma City about coming off the bench and trying to be a spark plug for Schroeder. It's really about consistency, Kevin.
Here's Porzingis. Rebound by Muscala.
And when you can't get anything to fall, it definitely gets in your head.
Especially if you're a player that doesn't get a lot of shot attempts. But otherwise, the mindset is, I just got to get the next one to go. And you don't want to put that much pressure on yourself.
Outside Curry. Passes it to Doncic. Over Gallinari. No good that time. And the Thunder going the other way now. Doncic comes for the double team. Ferguson for 3. Good on the triple. Ferguson's got 5 now.
The ball movement on this run has been fantastic and is a big part of why they've been able to get these good looks.
Outside, Porzingis to end the run. Gets it to go from beyond the arc.
Both teams running perimeter-oriented plays that are working.
Well, both of them looking towards the three-point line, and I like to see that, especially when the results are made buckets.
Inside, Gallinari, and it goes down 2 points. Gallinari's got 9 points in the quarter.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They keep getting it in the paint and continue to score consistently.
It's 9 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. And it goes out of bounds. That one off Porzingis.
That's tough because that one's preventable. The defense has nothing to do at all with that turnover.
Noel's checked in for Adams. Then for the Mavericks, Powell comes in for Maxi Kleber. And Barea subbed in for Seth Curry. And so it's Schroeder with the ball. He'll bring it up for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Since halftime, they've only allowed 5 points. to Gallinari. Back to Schroeder. Here's the three. Sinks the three-pointer. Schroeder's got his second bucket.
Yeah, letting it rip. They're just having fun right now.
Yeah, some of these nights you got to enjoy yourself. Not too much at the expense of the other team, but right now this team is balling.
And so it's the Oklahoma City Thunder rolling along with a 27-point lead as we wrap up the quarter. Now let's take a look at our assist of the game presented by State Farm.
Yeah, and I like the fact we get to see this pass one more time. A magnificent feed, and you love to see your off guard taking over the playmaking duties with this much skill.
Yeah, sometimes that's what can separate some of the best players, not just creating for yourself, but creating for others as well.
And 1 quarter to go in a game that to this point has not been an evenly fought contest. Here are the Mavericks now on the floor for Dallas starting the fourth quarter here. Marjanovic is out there with Dwight Powell. Then there's J.J. Barea. And there's Jackson. And it's Lee in at the two spot. Shooting foul as the whistle blows. He'll shoot 2 free throws. And he knocks down the first one. And good on the second, so he makes them both. Oklahoma City's gone to three-point range 7 times tonight, knocked down 5 of them. Schroeder passes to Baisley. And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here.
Well, I tell you what, he earned his money on that foul. And for Coach Billy Donovan of the Thunder, a lot on the line. In his last year of a 5-year contract with the team, the end result of this team will determine his future with the franchise.
Well, this team has never missed the playoffs under his watch, and the interesting thing with the massive trades that happened in the offseason, how much Billy Donovan gets the opportunity now to teach and coach this group of players.
And so he makes both from the line. Here is Barea. Lee outside. Barea against Schroeder. Outside for Jackson. From downtown, the Mavericks rebound. And that one's good. Marjanovic.
Really strong rebounding on the interior, and he gets the easy putback.
Fourth quarter of basketball. We're about a minute into it. It's stolen by Barea. And here we go. Fast break. Barea's got it. Count the bucket. And he's got a free throw coming up as well.
And that's how you do it. Impressive play, explosive finish.
Yeah, sweet finishes like that, you see everybody get up. Look at the guys on the bench. They're fired up.
Looking at who's out there now for the Mavericks. Dorian Finney-Smith's checked in for Marjanovic. Hardaway comes in for Jackson. And it's Jalen Brunson in for Lee. That free throw good from Barea. We're just over a minute into this final quarter of play. Now, Gilgeous-Alexander. Noel up top, guarded by Powell. And there's the foul. It's on Jalen Brunson. That'll be his second foul of the game.
Yeah, clearly a foul of frustration right there.
Powell against Noel. And that's a foul called on Dwight Powell. That'll be his second foul of the game. We've gone about a minute and a half into the fourth quarter. And that's a foul called on Dwight Powell. That's his third foul of the game.
And still early in the period, and they're only one foul away from being over the limit.
And the Mavericks making a change here. Doncic is checked in. Here's Paul. It's good. Now he's shooting 6 for 7.
That's a sweet spot for Paul. That zone between the arc and the paint might be his favorite. A career 50% two-point shooter.
Doncic feeling it out. Out to Hardaway. And he banks in the layup.
They're consistently finding ways to get the ball inside and taking full advantage.
Paul outside. Out to the wing. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander. Powell pulls it in. Powell's got 4 rebounds in this game. Now here's Brunson, defended by Paul. Brunson with it, and he could not get that one to go. Out of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. It's going to be on Nerlens Noel. One falls for Brunson.
This is as good as it gets from the charity stripe here in the second.
And the Thunder making a switch here. Adams checked in. And he can't hit the second. The Thunder leading by 21. Just over 2.5 minutes played now here in the final quarter of regulation. Here's Paul. That shot off. Now the Mavericks take it the other way. Doncic finds Brunson. And stolen by Robertson. Ball against Doncic. Paul outside. Takes it from 10. And it's Adams getting it to go.
Yeah, that 265 pounds out there, Kevin, it's pretty solid, a wrecking ball.
Brunson scanning the floor. Pass to Finney-Smith. Doncic with it. Outside Hardaway. Again, the miss by the Mavericks. 1:29 left to play in the final quarter.
And as we head to the final buzzer here, a crushing blowout, big-time dominance, and this will go in the record books as a gaudy win for the Thunder.
It was a standout performance across the board.
I mean, it was like watching a cat play with a mouse. They were able to do more or less whatever they wanted.
And you know, when you look at the huge impact he had, just a monster game for Chris Paul.
Just knows how to fill it up, and that's exactly what he did tonight. Nobody that they assigned to him could really get a handle on him.
Oklahoma City leading by 23. 1:04 left in the game. Here's Burton, and he gets contact and the whistle on the shot. 2 shots coming up. And there's the foul against Dallas. And the first one drops. Justin Jackson, he's checked in for the Mavericks. Lee comes in for DeLon Wright. And that one goes in. 2 from the line that time. Dallas has gotten off to an 0 for 2 start from downtown here in the fourth quarter. Lee outside. Outside for Barea. Shoots. It's rebounded by Oklahoma City.
And if that's the best look you can get on a possession, what a waste of a trip down the floor.
Yeah, see the coach? He's got that frown on his face. I think we know why. Not a high percentage look.
And there's the whistle on the shot. Took the foul. Shot misses. He'll be shooting 2.
Shooting 2.
And the first one at the line is good. He's perfect from the line this time. And it's the Mavericks with the ball. 7-second difference, shot and game clock. Marjanovic passes to Barea. There's the lob to Jackson. And that one's good. Marjanovic.
Coaching staff would like some more shots from that range.
And here's Diallo. So no problem for Oklahoma City as they get the win. And the outcome of this one was